Hello everyone. Today we're going to take $1,000 and turn it into over more than 1 million by using OpenAI's ChatGPT to develop a Bitcoin trading strategy for us. There's only one problem, is that I didn't prepare for this video. But then again, why would I? I can just ask ChatGPT to create an outline or an introduction for me. Let's see how it did. Hi there, and welcome to our tutorial on using ChatGPT to develop trading strategies. In this video, I'll be showing you how to use ChatGPT, a powerful language model developed by OpenAI to create custom trading algorithms without any programming experience. Whether you're a seasoned trader looking to automate your trading strategy or a complete beginner looking to learn about trading, this video is for you. So sit back and relax and get started with ChatGPT. So pretty darn good, right? So essentially, we can use natural language or simply ask the computer something. It can then take that something and translate it into computer code and give us an answer back. Now, in regards to trading, we can have non-traders ask, hey, give me a momentum strategy using these parameters, and it'll do it for us. And you can actually use tools like TradingView, which already has the data and everything built in to test it. For this channel, typically I'm building databases, doing Python, all this other stuff. And sometimes that's not very accessible to many traders. But this really opens up the door for anyone who wants to be able to create a profitable trading strategy based on backtest. And in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that, so that way you have confidence when going into your future trades. Now, the first thing that we're going to want to do is go over to TradingView.com. TradingView.com is the world's most popular online trading platform. You can chart pretty much the price of anything, but there's also community tabs, there's news feeds, there's also custom indicators and even mobile phone alerts. But for our intents and purposes, we are going to be using the strategy tester and coding in PineScript. So you want to go down here and click on the Pine editor. Here you may see a blank strategy. If you don't, just go to open and then click create new strategy. And here will be the boilerplate code. But again, don't worry, we're not really going to be doing the coding. ChatGPT will be doing that coding for us. So let's head back over to ChatGPT and create our first trading strategy. Now, the biggest challenge any new user of ChatGPT or any other NLP model is going to face when creating a trading system is articulating exactly what they want. If you want a 50-day simple moving average, you have to tell ChatGPT that. It cannot read your mind. If you want ChatGPT to give you a trading strategy using a crossover of the 12 and 26 CMAs, well, fantastic, but you have to be explicit about it. In our case, we want to start off as simple as possible. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT exactly that, right? Give me an extremely simple, long-only trading strategy that uses the 50 SMA in PineScript v5. And now the great thing about ChatGPT is it'll actually explain what it's doing and then provide you the code. Sometimes the explanation's at the top, sometimes at the bottom, and usually it's well commented. So we're going to copy this code and then we're going to take it into TradingView and run it. Now all we need to do to get this code to compile is paste it into the Pine editor and click save. If you don't have your Pine editor open, you'll want to click the Pine editor down at the bottom of your screen here. And then if you don't see any code here, click open and create new strategy. And this is the boilerplate strategy. Now we can go ahead and paste all of our code from ChatGPT here, click save. And unfortunately, I'll just call this ChatGPT Bitcoin strategy. It doesn't work. It says try to add this or that. So let's undo this. I know it doesn't have this strategy code here, which we need for it to run. So I'm going to paste the code under here and then click save. And we're going to start seeing more errors because we're not using TA. Now, you're going to say, wow, I thought that ChatGPT was going to be the new thing. And now I have to figure out how to code. I have to troubleshoot all this. Well, no, you don't. There's actually a better way to do this. Now, it's essential to understand that ChatGPT is good at creating code or content from scratch, but it's much, much better at taking existing content, such as, natural language or code, and improving upon it. We use ChatGPT to kind of research an idea of what we want, and then we can go to the public library of strategies provided by TradingView and iterate or improve upon it. So you can see here, I can click on this bar up down strategy and, it looks like it's losing some money, but maybe this is something that we're interested in. We can go up here, click the brackets here for the source code, take this, copy it, go back to ChatGPT, say, please explain this Pine script to me. And it will actually tell you what it does. So if you have a question on how a strategy works, because you don't understand the code yet, you can use ChatGPT. And one crazy thing that happens is after you do this for a while, you'll actually be able to read this code. Now, I don't want to use this bar up-down strategy. Let's take a look at some other strategies. Here's a Bollinger Band strategy. So I'm going to look for a strategy that actually performs well. That's almost 1%. Stochastic, super trend. Okay, so it looks like we got a winner. The super trend is up 478%. So we'll start with the super trend indicator to see if we can get it to over a million. So we'll click on indicators, go to super trend, and here we have it. And now we can go ahead and grab this code. I'm just hitting Control A and Control C, or you can select the whole thing and click copy. And I'm going to go to open strategy. I'm going to then paste this, save it, and I'm going to call it Super Trend Bitcoin Strategy and click save. We need to get an understanding of the super trend strategy's return profile when trading Bitcoin. We know that when we went to the indicator library and selected strategies, that it was one of the best performing strategies, if not the best performing strategy available to us. But without actually looking at the returns, we don't know how to optimize it. We can do that by going to Strategy Tester. We can see an overview here where we can see a pretty nice equity curve, pretty large drawdown. We've got 52 average bars in a trade with 79 total closed trades and 44% being profitable. If we go to performance summary, we can see a glaring issue that we can potentially fix. I'll zoom in to make it a little easier to see. But basically, we're making a lot of money on the long side and losing a lot of money on the short side. Now, not only are we losing this money, but it's not available to us on the long side to compound. So what we'll do is we'll change this strategy from a long short strategy to a long only. We can do that by going to the Pine editor, selecting all of this, Control A and Control C, or selecting all of it and clicking copy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to ChatGPT and ask it to close the position whenever the super trend strategy changes direction instead of shorting. So let's reiterate that to ChatGPT. We'll say update the following Pine script to close long entries instead of going short. Then I'll paste the code. And henceforth, I'm going to just show you what I type into ChatGPT, and then I'll fast forward to the output so I'm not wasting your time. And we'll take the code, we'll copy it, and then we'll paste it back into TradingView. Press Control A in the Pine editor, then Control V to paste it. We see that our code is updated. We then press Save to try to compile it. We don't see any errors, which is fantastic, which means we think that ChatGPT successfully changed our code simply by us giving it direction. Now let's validate that the strategy results are improved. We should see that there are no losses on the short side or even no trades on the short side. We go to the strategy tester. We then can look and see that our strategy did change. We now have a 55% win percentage, and under performance summary, we don't see any short losses. Now, I promised you that we're going to take a strategy from 1,000 to well over 1 million. So now what we're going to do is update the initial capital to see how far away from that target we are. But we're not going to use ChatGPT for this because I don't want to do you a giant disservice. Recall earlier that I said the most challenging thing a new trader will encounter when trying to create a trading strategy with an NLP model like ChatGPT is articulating exactly what they want. And if you're not able to at least get the information out of PineScript that you need, you're not going to be able to design the trading system that you want. But don't worry, all you need are two fingers, right? It's not difficult. You can see these blue keywords. Remember, we're taking existing strategies and indicators out of the library, pasting what we want, or asking ChatGPT to modify them. And then what we can do is find these blue keywords. We just press Control and click, and we'll pull up the PineScript reference manual. And then you can see all of these various properties and scroll down and get the information that you need. So what we need to do is we need to set that initial capital, and we also need to be able to set up margin calls, because we can't just leverage without any margin calls, and understand how much equity that we're going to use. Now, I already understand this information, so I'm not going to waste your time here, but we'll just run through one because I want you to get comfortable with this. So we'll go and look at the margin long property. Here it is, and it says margin long is a percentage of the purchase price of a security that must be covered by cash or collateral for long positions. Must be a non-negative number, right? That makes sense. And it's used to simulate margin calls and explained in the Help Center. So you can click on that if you want more information. But let's go ahead and now set the initial capital, the margin call, and the amount of capital used. So take initial capital, I'll copy this. And this is getting pretty long, so I'm going to press comma, hit enter, tab space, paste the initial capital. We want 1,000. We also want the default quantity value to be 100. And then we also want margin long. Now, obviously, we've got some exchanges that offer 1 to 100 leverage. We'll just do 1 to 10. And then what we'll do is we'll save this, and we'll see how this adjusted our strategy. We'll open the strategy tester, and we'll see the overview. Looks like we've already taken $1,000 in capital to over 2.3 million. So we've met our goal. I don't want to stop here. I don't know about you. There's a lot more that I want to talk about. So we'll change the $1,000 to $1 million trading strategy to the $1,000 to $10 million Bitcoin trading strategy. Now, how can we improve upon this strategy? Well, if I look here, when we're looking at this equity curve, it's going up, and then we start to see some downward movement here. If I click on this, we can see here that Bitcoin, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. We can see that we're in a pretty good uptrend, and it looks like we're also losing money on this downtrend here. So there's two things that I want to resolve. The first is we want to not be in Bitcoin when it's overextended. And secondly, when the trend is down, we want to exit, right? So let's go ahead and use ChatGPT, our friendly research assistant, to figure out how we might be able to do that. Now, it seems like ChatGPT is experiencing some exceptionally high demand. Let's hope it gives us the answer we're looking for anyways. We will ask for quick answers. So we'll say, give me a list without descriptions of technical indicators that are excellent for identifying overextended prices. Hopefully it'll give us a few. All right, so RSI, stochastic, oscillator, Williams, Bollinger Bands, perfect. We'll use the RSI in our strategy to identify overextended prices. So what I'll do is I'm going to go up here and edit this and say, give me a list without descriptions of technical indicators that are excellent for identifying when a market is trending. And click Save and Submit, and we'll see what happens. Moving average, RSI, Bollinger Bands, MACD, parabolic SAR, Fibonacci retracement, all of these. Okay, we got the ADX. So what we'll do is we'll use the RSI to identify overextended prices, and we'll also use the ADX to determine whether or not we're ranging or trending, and fit that into our strategy to see if we can get up to that, or maybe even surpass that $10 million mark. We'll start by adding the RSI and potentially get us out of overextended trades. We see that the RSI is already charted up here, and we can be absolute maniacs and click on the source code here, copy all this and paste it into our Pine script, or ask ChatGPT to massage this code into our existing strategy. But that is way, 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 way too difficult. There's a much better method. Let's open up our previous strategy. We'll click open. You can use either the recently used or go to my script. Here I see the super trend Bitcoin strategy. I'm going to click on that, And remember, I said you can access everything that you need to access by control clicking on any keyword, which is highlighted in blue essentially. It'll pull up the PineScript reference manual. If for some reason you don't want to access it that way, you can always click this triple dots here and click the PineScript reference pop-up. Now, I want to know about the RSI, so I'll just type in RSI. We see it as the first result, which is already being displayed. And it tells you everything that you need to know about the RSI. If you have questions, you can literally copy and paste this into ChatGPT and it'll explain it to you. I'm going to copy this code right here. We'll use the close as the source, and the length, we'll use probably a little bit longer because I want to try to capture, make sure that there's room to run. So what we'll do now is we'll scroll down to where we enter. Now, we could ask ChatGPT to do this for us, but it is having some bandwidth issues at the moment, and you really should get into the habit of being able to read basic PineScript. We'll say and, right? So it has to have this direction change, and I'll paste this to ta.rsi close price, and is the value. We're going to calculate this off the close, and we'll say, 21 is less than 66. So we're saying that, we don't want to be overbought on a longer term time frame. But you know what? I also want to make sure that we're getting in to the trade whenever there's a very high RSI on the shorter time frame, which will essentially sort of mimic a breakout and some serious buying pressure. We'll say close 3 is greater than 80. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this, then we'll check the results, and we'll see if this solved the issue with getting into and getting out of, I should say, overextended trades, and then we'll see how we can improve the strategy, likely using the ADX to determine that downtrend and getting out of that. So I'm going to save now and check out the results. So we'll go to the strategy tester. We see our overview, and it looks like we've made some progress, but I'm starting to get a little nervous, right? So we're at 3 million in profits. We're not at 10 million plus yet. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get us there, but I'm going to try my hardest. We can see that the equity curve is, fantastic, and then all of a sudden we have this drop off. So we'll click on this again just to analyze it one more time. It looks like this downtrend is really eating us up, and also this sideways action, right? So we'll use RSI to try to negate some of this downward pressure, and then also use the ADX to make sure that we're trending and not, getting chopped up. So the way we'll do that is we'll go back to the Pine editor, and now let's first start off with the RSI. That's easy to do. What we'll do is we'll just add a longer RSI duration and say that we have to be above, 49, meaning that there's some buying pressure and we're not constantly having lots of sell pressure. So we'll say and ta.rsi. We use the close price. We'll say close. We'll say 28. 4 weeks is greater than 49. And then what we'll also do is we're going to, we'll save that. We'll save that now, and we'll check out our results and see what happens here to see if we get rid of some of that downward action, and then we'll handle the chop. We'll click on the strategy tester, and oh man, we're so close. We went from 3 million and change to 5.3. We're now at a 2/3 win percentage, and we've still got a little bit of room for improvement. Hopefully that'll get us over that $10 million mark. We can go to the Pine editor, click on any one of these keywords. So we can use input if we want, and you'll notice it just pulls up input. So whatever we're control clicking on, it'll pull up, and then we're going to type in ADX. And you'll notice that unlike the RSI, we don't see it. So what we'll do is we'll go to the indicators, metrics, and strategies, click on this, go to technicals, and then we'll search for the ADX. And you'll see here, when we click on average directional index, ADX, it'll come up on our charts. We can click on the source code. And now what we'll do is we'll copy all of this. We don't need indicator. We'll just copy this. You only need one indicator or strategy. And then we'll go back to our original strategy, which is the super trend Bitcoin indicator. I'm going to paste it. You can paste it pretty much anywhere above, where we're going to use it here. I'm going to paste it in here. I don't want to plot it. We can ask ChatGPT, and maybe we will after this if we don't get it the whole way, what exactly this code is doing. But I know that the SIG is the signal, and we want it to be relatively trending. So we'll say, and SIG is greater than 30, and hit save, and we'll see if we get it there. Come on, baby. Oh no, we went from millions and millions to 62,000. Yeah. I guess what are we going to do now? All right. Well, I think obviously that ADX really messed us up, but maybe we should ask ChatGPT how we can make it better, right? So we'll say, ChatGPT, how can we make the ADX more responsive? Right? So clearly it took us out of too many trades. Now I know that, and you can ask ChatGPT this. Come on, I know that you're you're getting hit with all sorts of requests, but this is really important. Give us an answer. I know that the ADX strong trend is above 30 and a weak trend typically is above 20. So we'll make it more lenient, and we'll also do what ChatGPT tells us to. We'll shorten the period and make it more responsive, and hopefully that'll get us there. So we'll go to the Pine editor. We'll go first down to the signal here. We'll make it 20 to give us, to get us into more trades. And then we'll change this input length. How about we just cut it in half? And I'll click save and cross our fingers because there's not much more left in this YouTube video. Come on, come on. Oh, we're 6.5 million. We're so close. All right, one final thing. We'll see what happens here. Let's change this, percent that we're betting to 120. We'll hit save, and I think this is it, guys. Let's see if that last ditch effort worked. And yes, it did. We're at $17.4 million. Not only did we beat our initial goal of taking 1,000 to over $1 million, we then had a stretch goal of taking 1,000 over to $10 million. And we crushed that at $17.4 million. This is a fantastic video in what's called over optimization. And you can use ChatGPT to look that up if you're not sure what that means. But this video is about two super key takeaways. First, ChatGPT is here to stay. You need to use these tools, otherwise you're going to fall behind. You can be a no programmer or a novice programmer and actually back test strategies now. You don't have to just listen to someone on Twitter and hope and pray that that works, right? That's what my blog is about. Analyzing Alpha is about finding these amazing traders and investors that are somehow kicking the crap out of the markets and determining how they actually did that. And now you are empowered to be able to do this yourself. So this is fantastic. And secondly, for experienced traders, it's amazing. You have all of this wealth of knowledge at your fingertips. So hopefully this video was worthwhile to you. I think it was a $17.472 million knowledge bomb. Everyone should be using ChatGPT in some way, and both in their personal lives and their trading. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks. Goodbye.